my school is St. Thomas's College. I think it's a great school. Our college warden is very interested in this topic. So I have spoken to primary school teachers, all teachers, parent-teacher association, meetings and so on. Then I realized when the school asks parents to come, parents are reluctant to come. They have no reason to obey school. Then I got this wisdom that these same parents are working somewhere, isn't it? Though parents don't obey their children's school, parents really do obey the corporate, don't you think so? So I thought if we get into HR and CSR things of companies, corporates, that's what we have been doing. So in schools, our appeal is this to teachers, understand the problem, and we make seminars available. And thankfully, not only St. Thomas's, St. Joseph's, St. Peter's, Royal College, and many other schools are asking us to come and conduct these seminars for teachers who get understanding of the problem and how to deal with the child in the classroom, and establish a rapport between parent and teachers, how teachers will communicate the problem and what parents can do. So we run an empathic learning center free of charge. This is the card about it, keep a card. And I see parents and children and young people free of charge. Any Friday, you have to take an appointment, tell more about it. And then our empathic learning center does for 90 minutes arts, crafts and other things that will redirect the child away from cartoons. And we generally prescribe about 6 such sessions. Sessions are not rocket science, they are things that get children back into natural creativity rather than looking at the 2D digital screen that don't make children smart but makes children stupid. The 3 symptoms that come up in children, or what happens to children, is when they are overexposed to cartoons or digital games, basically the digital screen, even the simple TV. The 3 symptoms are inattention, they can't keep their attention span, hyperactivity, they are jittery, and impulsivity. Impulsivity is they are ready to they have a way of waiting for something to happen. They are on edge. Medical term is fight, fright, flight. So they fight something, fight parents. They have 5 war zones: food, sleep time, study time, cartoon stop time, and then sharing things with the sibling. Sibling meaning sister or brother. These become real war zones, and you will hear screeches and belligerent noises as if war is happening inside your home when children are digitally that affected. So impulsivity is this fight mode, fright mode. They are always in suspense. They are looking for thrills. They start seeking thrills, and then they fly off. They are fight, flight, fright. So what do? We get them to relearn in our empathic learning center, relearn good habits, relearn learning methods, relearn creativity, which children have been missing because of the meddling with the digital screen and digital gadgets and digital toys, retrain them in better habits, and teach them to manage food, time. That's what we do in our empathic learning center. So we tell these things to teachers of schools and tell the teachers to give the parents a solution without saying your child is disturbing the class. The medical, if this continues for some time, doctors will, if you take to a doctor, they will diagnose ADHD. Have you heard of it? Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder? Not heard of it. So quite a lot of children are on drugs for this. I am from the school of medicine that we do not want to use drugs for children behavior and children learning difficulties. We do it with these empathic learning methods. The kinds of children you get, now there are children who are impulsive from birth. When I see parents and children on Friday evening, there's a telephone number, you can make an appointment and come. If you have a problem with the child, you'll understand the problem as I keep talking, or you know someone who has a problem, they are free to give a telephone call, make an appointment and come. Then what we have found is some children are impulsive from birth. That is, they are born, and after about 5 months, when child is finding it difficult to fall asleep, food habits have gone all right, then the parents understand that something is not right with the child, because the child's brain, the fetal brain, has been affected from the mother's womb. Now, for instance, for about 20 years, pediatricians knew that when mother takes alcohol during pregnancy, child's brain is affected, at least for 25 years. But so the British Pediatric Association has been lobbying for a long time to get the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists to say a pregnant mother should not take any measure of alcohol. But it's a big social issue, isn't it? So the professional association is the Pediatric Association. The official association or college that has to deal with it is, you can't tell the baby in the womb, don't allow your mother to drink alcohol. You have to tell the mother not to drink alcohol. After a 25-year battle, now early this year, British Pediatric Association somehow persuaded the Royal College of Obstetricians to say any level of alcohol, any measure of alcohol consumed by the mother will affect the child's brain. Now, can you understand how many children's brains would have been affected over the years? If you understand what I'm saying, just give a wave. Yeah. I need a little expression. The expression deepens the impression. I'm asking you to vote now for the 3rd time this year, okay? So that is how, why children get this impulsivity from birth itself. So very early, these children begin to show hyperactivity, irritability. Even from about 6 months, parents begin to notice can't fall asleep. So that is from the mother's womb. And mother's digital consumption, music consumption, watching violent movies, all affect the child's brain. One medical explanation possible is that when all these impulses the mother gets into the brain by what she hears and watches, gets translated into neurochemical transmitters. Our brain is full of nerves, and our brain is full of chemicals. So you might have heard some names like dopamine. Have you heard dopamine? No. Anyway, that's a brain chemical. Then you must have heard of a disease called migraine. In migraine, the chemical involved in a chemical called serotonin. All these things are involved in daily communication in the brain. So when mother has gone through certain digital stimulation that increase this stuff, they cross the placenta into the baby's brain. So developing baby's brain gets affected by what mother consumes and by what mother watches digitally. Did you understand? Or any movie. So you can do 4D ultrasonic photography, which is a research thing. When you get pregnant, what you normally get is 3D. So you see the child's size and bone age and all that. But with research, you have 4D ultrasonic photography. You can see the child's grimaces, how the child is feeling inside the womb, and when the mother is going through a noxious digital experience, that is, mother is watching something terrible like what? Terrible like what? Some very violent politician speaking, or one of our parliamentary sessions, and mother is watching and mother is terrified. Then the child's face actually shows it up. Similarly, when the mother is listening to, say, Jim Reeves or something, and second time when mother is listening, getting ready to listen and the music is coming, the baby recognizes with a smile. This is a strange thing, isn't it? And now doctors talk of womb memory. The child remembers what happened in the womb. So that's a little bit of knowledge to know that from the mother's womb, the child can be affected, so father must behave properly. I'm happy to see quite a lot of men in this lecture. Usually, some of these lectures mostly have ladies, and often when they take appointments, or mother says, "Is it enough if I come?" It's difficult to get the masculine bloke to come. I refuse to see any child unless both come, because there's an empathic thing, trying to tell parents how to care for the child at home in a way. Child is not pushed towards digital overplus. That's our method of handling. Then high IQ children need a second timetable when they come home. Now suppose they come home at 2 or 3 or 4, you have to have hour by hour something designed for them to do and something directed, not in a very oppressive way, but you have in your mind. Now when he comes from school, maybe a bit of cricket or a fish tank, a pond, a gardening, are you getting what I mean? Activities that are planned, then of course elocution or singing, music, whatever, so that the child is not, don't think now your job is over because the school now, that the 24 hours is over because he returns from school. But he returns from school at, I have a grandson and a granddaughter. Now grandson is at STC and he returns home at about 1. And the whole house knows he has returned. My daughter lives sort of other half, I mean it's 2 separate houses, but we hear each other. She's a medical academic, she's on the staff of Lalith medical faculty, her husband is a doctor. So they are not given any TV extras, they are not, we have iPads and tablets and smartphones, they are not given to handle any of that. So children can be brought up, though our home is full of different things, and we use them, but children don't use them. We have a different curriculum for children, not a digital curriculum. If you understood that, will you give a vote? Vote means just to put up your hand and say that this stuff is good stuff. We are going to take home. So I keep getting you to express it because this is a mindset changing thing. I'm not just giving you an academic lecture. This is not my academic field. My academic field is epilepsy, Parkinsonism, aspirin-like drugs, and it's a very learned lecture. They're very simple Montessori stuff, you know. Sometimes I'm shy that I'm telling these things. But then this has to be told, otherwise the children end up with doctors who overprescribe and they are pharmacologically bad prescriptions. And when they come to us, the child is a zombie, you know. The child has got so many drugs. I get very angry. Some of these fellows are my students and they are completely wrong the way they have been treating the child. But all this can be prevented when parents are motivated to give the child a good timetable, a second timetable when the child comes home, which should not include digital stuff only. I even tell parents, before you choose your preschool, fresh, play school, ask them what you do with your child, isn't it? You pay through your nose, not for them to put the child on a digital screen again, correct? Yeah, so you must see whether there's some playground, swings, you know what children can do. So you must insist that they have outdoor activity till you pick up your child, correct? So these are the habits we try to get into parents when I speak to PTAs or to corporates. Thirdly, there are some children who are either naturally or for some reason have got kinesthetic. That is, they are a little jittery. And from word go, they will show too much desire for digital things and cartoons. They are all the time they want it. Did you understand that? So you have to, if you have a child who's a little jittery from birth and doesn't sit in one place and he's happy doing this, that and the other, and he studies best when he's rocking and rolling, there are children like that. Now they are already a little hyper, you get the point? Don't put them on, or how shall I word it? you must minimize cartoons for them from the beginning. Otherwise they take off with a small dose of cartoon and they will become unhandleable. You must know your child. So if the child is from very early days, from second, third year, the child is showing this nature, you have heard of hyper, isn't it? Then if you give them digitals, they really get attached to them. They will do nothing else. They want only digitals. So you must know your child, okay? And if you have children like that, you need to make an appointment with our center, come and see. Then we will give you some handling methods for a child like that. Then of course, any of you may now have at this present moment a child. Now you are listening to me and thinking, probably my child is seeing too many cartoons, or he's grabbing my phone too much, or I have given him an iPad or a tablet too early. Then the child gets digitally overstimulated. Then right brain, have you heard of this left brain, right brain thing? Now I will explain that in greater detail. Now those words are a little archaic. What it basically meant was, left brain children are those who can remain in classroom. They are managerial. Their study is word based. They are verbal based children. Then the other kind of children, which is about usually 30% the natural percentage, they are visual children. They see pictorial and they absorb pictorial. So they need different methods of study. Unfortunately, most Sri Lankan schools will have only sit down and listen to me kind of classroom instruction. These children don't do very well with that kind of classroom instruction. Also, these children are not good in math. So we will have 30% of children who will fail in mathematics even if Einstein comes and teaches. That a parent and teacher needs to understand. Some of you may have children who are weak in math. Do you have such children? And don't persecute those children. You'll have to tell the teachers, as I tell this at schools, there will be some children who are not going to get through math. They'll have other avenues of career, curriculum and employment in time to come. Good news or bad news this is? This is neither good nor bad, this is true news. This is science, okay? No, can't accept that. Is it okay if I drink this water? When you are saying, no doctor, my child must do math. You have to agree to this. That's why I need consensus and constant vote casting. Otherwise your mind will not change. And my exercise would have been useless where this is not academic lecture. As I told you, I will come here for academic lectures. I'll be in the medical faculty giving my normal lectures. So 1/3 of children will be weak in math. Then children mechanized in brain for lack of heart engagement. You see, when a child is born, even in the mother's womb, for long we have known a thing called maternal deprivation syndrome. Child does not grow if the mother is not giving affection even when the child is in the mother's womb. We knew this. In our medical college days also we knew this. Now what they know is much more than physical growth, child's brain growth is affected by how the mother feels. So, and soon after birth, attention is firstly of the heart. The child begins to connect with the mother at a heart level. I will have to say almost spiritual, or in Sinhala you have a word called adhyaatmika. Do you understand what adhyaatmika? The connection and the bonding is not physical, not even intellectual. You get the point? There's a more hardayangama bonding. The mother says goo, and the girl says girl, and two together make google.com. That's how this goes. I always use this. What it means is that initial bonding is so important. When mother gives attention, child grasps attention. Obvious, isn't it? If the mother didn't give attention, child begins with a lack of attention, correct? And that continues. So that's called dyspathy. You have heard the word empathy. Now, New Collins Dictionary has a new word coined for this problem, dyspathy. That is the child who didn't get empathy. Bonding love takes off to life with this Nobody cared for me, I care for nothing. You get a whole generation of selfish children who are taking selfies and putting on Facebook. I mean, this is adult disease also, but they are completely consumed by themselves because they didn't get anything better. Understood? Now, you will find some of the things I am saying would be uncomfortable to accept because you have to change your practice. I was on the SLM ethics committee for a long time, and at that time we designed a health rights charter. The enthusiastic, academic, idyllic medical professionals, 7 of us, SLMC appointed us to ethics committee. Of course, we are the ethics committee. So we designed a charter called the Health Rights Charter. And we worked hard for nearly a year and fine-tuned it, and some of the best brains in the country was involved in it. So I was also involved in it. And after about a year's work, we submitted it to our mother organization, SLMA. They didn't even go through the body of it. They said, Health Rights Charter? You want to call this Health Rights Charter? Everywhere these fellows will sue us if you call this. So we had to water it down to, now we have called it Health Charter. We dropped the rights because if doctors don't do what we are recommending, people will sue the profession. Most of the material is still there, it's available as a booklet, because the medical profession was not ready to take a document which said Health Right Charter. Now you are parents, and I am telling you to give time to children rather than iPad, tablet, Ben 10, Superman, Angry Birds, Sparta, Clash of the Clans, Clash of the Titans. Recently, we do a digital seminar every first Friday of the month in our center. So there was a young fellow and quite a few young people and adults. I said, what's the most intense game? Young fellow said, Steam. I said, what? He said, Steam. Have you heard of Steam? Neither had I, but I got educated last Friday. He said, Friday.